I'll be in a restaurant and I'll eat because I just stay in town here along Greenfield.
They will serve you water.
They will come serve me that water.
So it meant that the project actually
is alive.
Completed.
It's alive. Shit. It's just that our stake.
Our stake we talk about.
Completed.
We agreed at 50-50, but we were able to just bring up 5 million. It's alive. Shit. It's just that our stake.
Our stake we talk about.
Completed.
We agreed at 50-50, but we were able to just bring up 5 million, which was 29.4%.
3 million remain now.
So it was just remaining 3.5 million for us to get to 50.
So you funded the project for the UCL to keep generating revenue.
Yes.
And then the stake that is supposed to go back to the school. What's up with that?
That is a very important question. Very, very important question. Because as I'm talking to you now, S.U.G does not even know that it has a stake.
They don't know
in that.
They don't know. Now just win the election, they do waka.
So the people running the factory, right? They are generating revenue and they are keeping it for themselves.
That is how it is.
I'm telling you.
As of this very moment we are talking right here, that is how it is. So it means that all these struggles, all this back and forth that we are talking about,
don't this way, we can give you one million small.
All this back and forth that we are talking about, right? Now, the reality is like we did it for the students, but now they are not reaping from it.
I'm telling you,
they are not reaping
nothing,
from it.
Nothing.
You know, sometimes, I normally remember. When I normally remember that time that we were having that rift between the schools, you know, and when some of them are saying, after we go, you know, what will happen? What will happen? So sometimes I remember those things and I'm like, is it that after we left, everything just died? You know? Do you know how it feels that after knowing what you have gone through for something, and then you would see, it's not as if the thing did not come to pass. It came to pass, but the purpose for which it was not achieved.
It means that the students of the University of Jos are not benefiting.
They are not benefiting anything from the project.
They are not drinking the water.
They are not drinking the water. Which, before I forget, that's juice and grenade that I spoke about earlier, that we wanted to do the factory inside it. When we saw that we would not be able to achieve it, inside our partnership deal, I remember we contacted one of our senior comrades and our leader, Barrister Nanto Kashwar. He was the one that drafted the MOU. You understand? For the partnership between University Consultancy Limited and the S.U.G, which we stated and we said that in part of our roles as the S.U.G, we are going to provide a water depot. Because the factory is far from the school. So we are going to provide a water depot where after production, they will carry a certain amount of water and come and put it in the hands of the sales secretary. Remember I told you that the sales secretary was pivotal to the project. So he was the person that the office of the sales secretary was supposed to be responsible for the daily sales of water within the campus. You know, that particular structure, we converted it to S.U.G Secretariat / water depot. And to your greatest, it will surprise you that the day where we left and we locked that place.
That's what they did.
I don't say they don't open that place.
They don't get the key. They don't get the key.
You know, I'm very, very peculiar about. I have my interest in S.U.G. Why? Because S.U.G shapes the political structure of Nigerian politics.
Yes.
Majority of the legislatures that we have in Nigeria today, they are coming from S.U.G.
Yeah.
Now, how is it that in your own campaign period, when you were trying to campaign into elections, would you say there was any resistance from the political system as at that time? Okay, trying to, let's say, okay, support this candidate, or let's say no, we don't want this guy. Would you say there was any form of interference between the higher level of politics and yes, and then at the S.U.G level?
Well, when it's a shame though, but let me just say it as it is. When you're contesting, even at the level of S.U.G, it may surprise you to know the amount of funds that are involved.
Yeah.
It will really surprise you. And it is when you get to that level, then you get the handshake between the circular politics and the school unionism. Because somebody needs to fund.
Definitely.
You need to source for fund. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that there is actually
influence,
a connection. I wouldn't say influence,
okay,
because if you say influence, it means that what they say outside can actually translate inside. During our time, it did not happen like that.
There's a connection. Don't say we even get polling units for it within the school.
Yes,
we get like 6 polling units now.
Even like polling units that they do general
elections
within the school. So there is a connection. I would say there is a connection between the circular and the student unionism. There is a connection, but as of that our time, I wouldn't say that the influence is pronounced like that. The only thing was that we needed somebody to assist you, in funding.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's where we had that connection with the circular world.
Now, what's your challenge like when it comes to having interference with the non-academic staff, that is administration, when it comes to the financing? How are you able to navigate your way? Okay, I'm trying to get this project done. What are the challenges that you face? Okay, help me sign this letter. I need to go through your office.
Make I help you answer that question for
right.
Start
you get procedures, you understand?
Right.
For instance, if you want to go that kind of office, you must hold money.
I don't understand.
Yes, now. You must hold money now. There are people that definitely you must see. You understand? That is the same system for the University of Jos. You understand? There are people that definitely, once they see you, they see money.
Yeah, exactly.
You must give them something. Exactly. Once they give them, now them go carry the letter from your hands. Begin the rush office to office. Make them approve them for you. So that if you come out, they will still get their share. You understand now? Now, so the thing they happen for you.
So now they don't stop. It's just that it was like a major
trick day.
The whole system, you just have to work with the system.
You just have
if not, you will not get anything.
You will not get anything.
So what you're saying is you are forced to engage in corrupt practices because you have a vision that, okay, I want this to happen. And if I don't play ball with these people,
they're not going
to. It's not going to happen.
Well, we will not call it corrupt practices. Yeah. We will not call it corrupt practices, but they made it look as if. Okay, now let me just paint this picture for you. When you become S.U.G president at that time, there is this persona that they, give to you. That if you are not somebody that is like mentally stable, you feel like say you don't become something.
It's a big office now.
You feel like say you don't become something. You understand? So it is that persona they give to you that you will be forced to maintain it.
End up tipping.
Like you will be forced to maintain it. So when they see you, they go like
They hail you. No
they
one
go just dey hail
I don't
you.
understand.
They go just dey hail you.
God bless the leader.
God bless the leader.
Leader,
You understand all those kind of things.
Even you go wan shake body.
You sef go wan shake body. So na just how the thing be like that.
You guys move now.
E just gonna be like say na obligation. Because so that was how it is.
Yeah, I think from my observation, what also contributed to the delay in the procedures
You they put mic for that. You know go hold the mic when you talk.
was that during our time, the administrative bureaucracy was much,
It was much.
and then the university was more of an analog system.
Very, very
It's
analog
manual.
system. Yeah.
Yes, people have to move file from this text to this text, from this text to this text. At times, the principal of person.
Can't happen to where now?
Principal
Follow
person
office
might not
to office.
proceed,
They
you
look
have to
for
wait 2 days,
signature.
3 days. The person have to come back. But I didn't think that it were a systemized, something that is electronically systemized. That just press,
Yeah, online
Just
self.
email.
Param.
push this mail, send this mail to the next
That's
person,
all.
copy this mail to this person, copy this mail. It's something that would have been achieving it within 24
Yeah.
hours, 48 hours max, maximum. And we would have achieved much within our time compared to the analog process.
Would you say that the system is naturally designed analog, number one, so that the people on the other end would have absolute control to determine, okay, this project is going to go through, this project is not going to go through? Because if you make it faster and easier and accessible, it is easier for me to send a message to you in split seconds, so that we get the response and know that, okay, yes, we are moving forward. Okay, no, we are not moving forward. Let us forget about it.
Well, I wouldn't say it's deliberate. It was just a circumstance that you will have some people that are trying to take advantage of it. But what I felt is that it's a transition stage.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a transition stage that the university was trying to transit from an analog system to a digital system. And of course, it wasn't something that they would have achieved at a blow. So you see some system that are trying to step it up, but then it was not a full process yet, fully automated process at the time. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that it was a deliberate thing by the management to stay in charge of it. They don't have to keep the system analog to be in charge of the administrative affairs. Yes, because they are in charge of the law and order. So the fact that a mail comes to you as the principal officer, you can decide to say this mail will not go through for this reason. Yeah, so they don't need to keep the system analog for them to stay in charge. It's just that some people might want to take advantage of the situation
and withhold using.
Sometimes before they will approve something for you, it will take like 2-3 days.
Yes.
I tell you. Instead of this one, the office.
I feel like one of the big responsibilities of becoming a leader as at that level, S.U.G, is you have students who are under your protection, who are under who you lead. Yeah. How are you able to deal? Because I remember that time there was this story of whenever there's a security issue, there's crisis,
clash,
there is student deaths. I think there was a popular death that happened. Was that?
Remember that guy, that Peter, where we carry under the bridge? I mean, that Peter, which lives there.
Yeah, Saga one, that Idoma guy.
Saga the
Idoma guy. The most pathetic one.
Mine said
was the stray bullet that killed Coombs.
Yes, I remember.
Coombs.
Okay, please give us that story. What actually happened? What was this whole story?
Oh boy.
Now you say you want me to.
Oh boy.
when we started going towards that direction, you notice I was just saying because I think personally, I don't think that day it happened. Was it 1st September or 30th August? I cannot remember that date particularly, but I know it was around that end of August and early September.
Yes.
I think for me personally, that was the longest night.
And that boy, they ambitious.
That I have ever witnessed.
Now come ready.
It was the longest night in the sense that 1st October, right? Yeah. It was October. 1st
October.
October. So it was ending September. It started 30th of the ending and then 1st October the next day. So
that day I don't even know what
that was really a very long day for all of us that was involved. It was a really, really long day. I think I remember vividly it was on a Sunday. It's the whole situation started on a Sunday. You know, we were just there in the White House that Sunday, and we just had
White House today now.
I was in the White House.
We there within school premises. Tension been there now. Now they can't call say village hostel to village hostel. Now we can't rush.
You were talking after we don't meet.
Okay.
So I'm trying to take the gist to the beginning of the whole thing, you know. So I was in the White House for me, and then I received a call from a friend, Aaron. That was a friend to my chief of staff out of that time. That they don't. I'm far off. Which is no be village hostel. Say he start for that Angwa side.
Now stone so
yes.
Now stone.
I say I'm far off. I say what's in the happen now? So it was as quick as a flash. From that call, to the chaos that happened in the school that day was as quick as a flash. Before I knew it, I just started hearing calls start. There is panic in village hostel. There is panic in...
Then they strike. All those nurses.
Yes. And non-academic strike.
They strike.
Was on strike.
Hospital, they locked.
At that time. Everywhere was locked. Non-academic staff were on strike. And when we came out of the White House that time, that's where ESCO stayed. We came out of the White House, we saw students running. They were running back. This one is running this way. That one is running this way.
Now only fees they had for that university.
What is happening?
They don't see struggle.
You know, there was panic all over the school. I met him that time, you know, we don't stay at the same place. We came, I met him, and he was telling me that, even at the gate of the university, that students are still there, that students are in front of village hostel. And at that time, I think we were not mobile. We're not mobile, you know. So we started using our legs to run. Like we ran.
Naraguta hostel
to village hostel.
From Naraguta hostel to Abuja hostel. After we reach Abuja hostel, imagine hostel that houses thousands of students. All of them were outside.
That time, this I don't even die, because
you know,
all
of them were outside. It was scattered. We now divided the ESCOs. You know, I told some, okay, stay here. Let us run down to village hostel and see what's going on in village hostel. We started running from village hostel. We ran from Abuja hostel, down to village hostel.
And then there was no pedestrian beach.
There was no pedestrian beach, nothing.
You have to cross
the river.
Yes, now.
Yes, there was no.
And on the way, you see students. Some are running, some to and fro. You don't know where they are coming from, and you don't know where
they're going to.
You know. So at every level because the panic was so high, you know, all we could do was to try and keep calm.
I know we say our students, they're outside too. Then they within school premises.
Yeah. So when we now go to village hostel, you know, we go to village hostel. Village hostel, there was rancor. There was really rancor in village hostel. It was chaotic, you know. But when we got there, we saw some of the stakeholders that we knew, stakeholders that we could talk to.
When you say stakeholders,
okay, when you say stakeholder, somebody that is holding a position or has held a position before, or has contested a position, but is in a position where people listen to him. Yes. So when you say stakeholder, those are the kind of people.
Even the hostel government.
Yes, the hostel government. No. I think I've forgotten his name.
Wisdom, yes. Was the
junior,
Wisdom was the
So when we got there, it was really funny because when we got there, it's not funny, let me not say it's funny, but when we got there, everybody had an opinion.
Everybody. My emotions were there.
Emotions were high. Everybody was having an opinion. Let us do like this. Let us do like that. Let us go and fight.
All those kind of talk, small talk. Before you know, student
When
want
they
to
were agitating that we should go and fight,
Stop
I
the bond
said,
that
if
cast
you
for them.
want to go and fight now, right? And when we go there, we are not soldiers, we are not police, we are not anything, we are not trained, we are nothing. We don't have any of these things.
One kind of love for
what if anything happens?
who they go catch?
Whose responsibility is
You
it?
understand?
It was mine. Yeah, as the president at that time. And I told them that, look, that is not going to happen. But whoever thinks that he cannot hear
Should go ahead.
should just do what's on his mind. You understand?
You know, so that time these people come now, soldiers, when
Yes.
police, come they put
So-
tear gas for students.
When we were having that, the ones that were agitating,
Agitating, when they know
agitating,
the one they go, the one they
the
go.
one they go, the one go fight, the one
go
go fight. You know, they actually went ahead. You know, and I remember the guy that Coombs, Shadrach Coombs. I think you were there with me that day. Were you?
Nah,
And
me, I did,
you were there.
Nah, me, I did.
I remember Damak was there, Peter was there, and then the boy now came to us. And when the soldiers were coming, and he said that, Presido, these people, I used to live with these people. Eating, we are close. Let me go and
They
talk
must
to
magana
them.
nefa.
Nje musu magana.
Abari.
So that Sudao.
Ayakuri.
You understand? I remember I said this thing at his burial. I said this thing everywhere I found myself where the conversation, because his death later, afterwards now, there was a controversy over his death. You know? One time we started hearing the chief security officer came and was granting an interview and was saying that,
He's a cultist,
that
man.
the boy was a cultist, that he was holding a weapon.
Imagine,
that was why he was
imagine
shot.
CSO, they told that kind of thing.
You understand?
But
So-
did he have any criminal record? Any
Nothing
type of-
like him. Why is a law student now?
He was a law student.
Student.
And look, if had it been this thing happened and I was not in the picture,
Yes.
right?
Maybe.
I would have said maybe
compromise.
You
So he's
understand?
somebody that you know very, very
I
well.
know him very well.
The boy
And
want
I
me as
just told
for
you,
president too that time. Oh.
I was in the scene, like I
You
was
understand?
in life. I was there.
The boy said one contest
So
for
the
president.
boy said, let him
Before
go
he died.
and call those people
That's the
that
thing.
are agitating,
Okay.
you know, that want to go out of the school. Yeah? The ones that are agitating, that they want to go out of the school. That let him go and call them back. I said, can you do it? He said, yes, he can do it. You know, I said, okay, go ahead. So when he left, we just had gunshot.
So the soldiers were shooting at who now?
Where did that bullet come from? That's
I guess they wanted to scare
neighboring.
they wanted to scare
that
the
bullet came, it was
Na direct bullet. Oh.
it did not happen where I could see, yeah, but the incident happened around that garage side.
Yes.
There is a place that
Outside
is
the
like
back wall.
garage
Beside that,
beside one shortcut to market foreign gather.
Yeah.
Yeah, the incident happened around that side. We were at the gate, so the soldiers came. They were moving on. They were on their hillocks, and then when they got to that place,
they
the
put tear
hillocks
gas for
stacked,
gate now.
you know, and there were gunshots. And the next thing I saw was that they were bringing a body back into the school. And when I saw it, it was like, because I just remembered that me and him had just had a conversation some minutes ago that he's going to talk to the people
To come back.
in, you know? And it now happened that way. That time, they brought the body to us and we said, okay, let's rush to the clinic. At that moment, we forgot that the clinic was on.
No, I was like,
Friday.
Kese will push himself. That
We
time.
moved to going to
guy
the
would
clinic.
delay.
The clinic was locked. That was how that boy's body was being carried from one location to the other,
Till he
to the other,
till
because we were looking for where
help now.
help could come from. You know, at the end of the day, there was no help when it was needed, and the boy did not survive. You know, and that day, that day was a very long day. You know, while we were doing this, we now have got a call that in Abuja hostel, they don't start another one that is about to go out of hand. We have to run back to Abuja hostel.
So what was going on in Abuja hostel?
Students were panicking.
Okay.
There was fear all over the place.
They tell you.
Yes.
I was there.
From
Abuja
You
hostel.
were in Abuja hostel. I remember you were part of the people that were in Abuja hostel. When we came, the village that was outside that Abuja hostel, they were throwing stones and all.
Imagine.
You know. And
So wait, this conflict is between students and which community?
And the communities.
Neighboring
surrounding
communities
the
now.
university.
Neighboring communities.
Yeah. So when we came, there was a whole lot of rancor. Even up to today, I know if you remember the talk where I talked to the Abuja hostel people, we make them calm down. I don't know what I tell them. I just know, say, I just climbed Aluta ground, you know, and I spoke some words, and the panic reduced. When we were at Abuja hostel, we got information that in Zion hostel again,
Another one
the
again.
whole girls are packing their load,
They want to go.
They want to run
Now
out.
that the buses been come now from different states.
That was the next day. Their bosses came. So we now ran to Zion hostel again. Calm them down in Zion hostel. After we now calmed them down in Zion hostel, there was still fear in Zion hostel. So I remember I said we should do a vigilante. We should watch over the school
You will see as men they
that
come out.
night.
They surround hostels everywhere.
Yes, we
Everywhere.
said let all the men, all the boys,
Let the girls
guys,
in the hostel.
come out. Then let the girls be in their hostels and let us watch over all the entrances of the school. You know? So when we said that, truly there are some very courageous Jewites. I wouldn't lie.
Then they
You know?
enough.
Because that day I remember seeing Boka and Rothschild.
They come out to.
Rothschild
He no
went
send.
and
They no
he
send.
dressed in his Ngas traditional attire.
I'm telling you.
When he was coming like this, I saw him when he took that turn of big. Now warrior, nothing be warrior.
You know what now we
Now
fight.
you know what was now pants and skin. He was spare. You go go.
That's
and-
get that picture of to that.
I remember it vividly. I can see it as I'm talking like this. Rothschild took that corner. Those were part of the people that gave us courage
Yeah.
to carry on. Rothschild came. Boka came. Boka was my classmate that time.
Yeah.
Boka came, and you know, immediately we divided the boys that volunteered that they were going to do this vigilante. We divided them and under some like leaders, and we said, okay, you go and stay at this entrance of the school. You go and watch over this place. You go and watch over this place. That was how we divided ourselves that night. Oh, I forgot one very important aspect of that day. After there was a moment that we were, and inside the whole thing, when we were running from one hostel to the other, phone will ring. They go say, President, your phone will ring. I go pick. I go hear. Who is talking? Hey, my name is so and so. I'm calling you from so and so newspaper. We just heard. Can you confirm? Now look at look at the way these journalists ask you question. Can you confirm?
They're not asking you.
They are not asking you if. They are asking you, can you confirm that 14 students are dead?
Imagine.
I say, which 14 students are dead? I'm not aware that 14 students are dead.
And that period now, only one person said.
That period now, only one person.
Shedrack Combs.
Yes, it's just Shedrack Combs.
So where are they getting their information from?
Panic. I said
Now panic now. Students, they get
panic and fear.
connections
So
now.
news will just be flying
everywhere.
everywhere. See, that evening, more than 6 newspapers called. All these 6 newspapers had 6 different figures.
So where are they getting that?
Who knows? So this newspaper will call and ask, can you confirm that 14 people are dead? Can you confirm that 18 are dead? I don't say one more. We need to control this information. If we don't control this information, panic will not come down. That was when I said, okay, Damak, go and write a press release.
Debunk it.
And say, so far so good. Yes, there is chaos, but so far so good. We have been able to confirm 1 dead, yeah, and some injured. But whatever it is that we get to, when we find out whatever, any information we find out, moving forward, we will communicate it. And that was how that press release was released. And that was one of the, it was later we got to hear that they were reading that press release on news and were saying that, parents should calm down because calls were coming in from everywhere.
See parents carry
so now the chaos that was going on, was it outside the school? Because now let's say it's outside campus, your authority and the protection of your arms is limited to whoever is not around school campus. So now some of the people that were, let's say, were injured, would you say they were injured because majority of them were not within the school premises? Because I don't want to believe that the assailants would come into the school premises and now come and attack students.
Sorry to say, even when this guy died, that Peter, was it Peter that is that Idoma guy? He didn't die within the school premises.
No, he did not die.
When they find the guy, sure you don't still remember.
The truth is that
when they find the guy now,
is
porous.
It's porous.
The university is porous.
Very, very porous.
It's not fenced.
It's not fenced. As of that time, the university is really porous.
It's better now. It's not
better
fenced.
now, but as of then, it
even
was
the
porous.
front of the village hostel we're talking about.
Now net now, like barbed wire.
Yeah,
so the university was used as a passage. It can't be like road.
Yes.
So even people who no be student, they use the road.
The community where they are,
The community where they back, they use and pass. The community where they front, they use and pass.
So now, my this question is very important. What was the protection strategy of the university security system? What was how were they prepared to approach situations like this when they arise? Okay, we have a situation where there's chaos around that neighborhood, around that area. How is their response? What plan did they have on ground to make sure that our students are safe?